Since when did these big bad rappers become so soft? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the rapper known as Meek Mill complaining about racism on what appears to be a private jet. Now, before we get to the video, which I do have, I just want to say one thing. This whole idea of racism, everything being about racism. Oh, well, somebody said my shoes are untied. They are white supremacists. I mean, at a certain point, it gets ridiculous, and nobody's going to believe an actual episode of racism when it happens. It's like Little Boy Cried Wolf. When you keep crying wolf and the wolf never appears, when the wolf does actually come, nobody's going to believe you because you kept lying about it and exaggerating the situation over and over and over and over and over again. Now, let's get to the video. In this clip, you're going to see what appears to be a flight attendant or a pilot or somebody approaching Meek Mill about a situation, and then you're going to see Meek Mill's reaction talking about, oh, let us off the airplane, you guys are racist. And after we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents and my deep detail analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Couple minutes.
So you just said we was smoking on a plane. We just came on here 30 seconds ago.
I smell it. I'm sorry.
And you just asked us we smoking on this plane. We just stepped on there 30 seconds ago.
Because I smell it.
But where we going to smoke at if we just stepped on here 30 seconds ago? Just look. Wait, where would a blunt be rolled up at if we just sat here for 30
We're on the plane. Anyway, look,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to try and fix this
Go
problem.
ahead. Let us get off the plane. Just let us. I don't feel safe on this plane anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Totally up to you.
Let's open the door.
Okay.
You acting real racist right now. Like real crazy. Was we smoking weed?
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, okay, I had to do this video because I really want to address this whole situation. I really want to address it. And first things first, the idea of racism is simply not here. It's not here at all. There was no racial slur. There was no racial assumptions, nothing like that. None of that was going on. Why did you jump to racism right away? Is it because you're embarrassed? Is it because that's your go-to thing? After all, Meek Mill does want to be some kind of Colin Kaepernick copycat, social justice activist. You want to be that. You want to be out there campaigning for politicians, on podiums, wearing a suit jacket and a dress shirt with no tie. You want to be that guy. So anytime there's a white person saying something to you that you don't like, you want to say racism, but that's not the case. I'm going to tell you what happened. And before I even watched the video and I was hearing about, oh, they were on an airplane and there was some drugs, I already knew what was going on. They probably were in the car, whether it was, a rental, they got a chauffeur, whatever it was. They were in the car smoking weed, and then they went straight to the airplane from the vehicle. So they're going to smell like weed, okay? And I don't know if you guys ever smell weed, and some of you guys may do what you do, but it has a very offensive odor. I could smell weed when I'm in the car just driving on the road and somebody a few hundred yards back is smoking in their car. They can have the windows rolled up, but I could still smell it. Okay, so when the officer pulls you over and says, hey, you know what, I smell weed, they probably do. Maybe they don't, but they probably do. And they probably smelled it from a way back. And once they got closer up on you, it became stronger. Weed smoke is a very, very distinct smell, and it's very offensive. So once you get on an airplane like that, the whole plane's going to smell it. And I'm not really sure how it works. Can you get a contact high from someone's clothing when they got weed smoke on it? I don't know how that really works. You guys, some of you weed spurts out there, y'all let me know how that works in the comments. But I know that you can smell it, especially in a very small space like an airplane. It's going to be offensive. So, of course, the pilot or the attendant or whatever is like, hey, are you guys back here smoking? Now, Meek Mill wants to be like, oh, well, nobody can roll a blunt. Nobody. But it's like, come on. You already know what he's asking. You should know that you guys smell strongly of weed. Maybe you're not on the plane smoking, but you know you guys smell like it. And that's not a good thing to do. Okay. And people do this all the time. Unfortunately, they do this in places where they shouldn't be doing it. Now, if you live in a state where weed is legal and you're an adult and you want to smoke, that's your business. Personally, I don't do drugs. I'm not a dope fiend or nothing like that. But if you want to do that, I'm not judging you, so don't get it twisted. However, you got to understand there's a time and place for everything, right? It's legal to drink alcohol, as far as I know. If you're an adult, you're over the age, you can drink alcohol, but maybe don't show up to your kids' PTA meeting drunk or smelling like alcohol, or showing up to the job smelling like liquor. Maybe you don't do that. Maybe you shouldn't talk to your boss with liquor on your breath and they can smell it. Same thing if you go into your kid's school, maybe don't wear pajamas, maybe put on some clothes, take 5 minutes, even if you're not showered and you kind of stink a little bit, put on some regular clothes. That can help. Take the bonnet off, take your pajama, your onesie off, take off your sleeping attire and put on some regular clothes, first of all. Second of all, if you're going to smoke weed, at least shower afterward so you don't smell like it so much. You're going to go straight from your car when you've been hotboxing to your kids' meeting with the guidance counselor and whatnot. If you go into a job interview, you probably don't want to smell like weed, right? You go into a job interview and a job, you're getting paid 6 figures. You show up to the interview in pajamas smelling like weed, you're not going to get hired. You are not going to get hired, period. You could be Elon Musk. You're not going to get hired because you have, bad decision making. Why would you come to this place like this? You're not doing the right thing. And I see this over and over and over again. That the weed smoke is offensive. Now, you got all types of ways to ingest weed, I guess you would say. You got the edibles and whatnot. But don't be on a plane smelling like weed. That's the worst thing you could do. Okay, if you hop on a Delta flight like that, you probably get kicked off, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, because it's not just you on that plane. You got passengers, people that have sensitivities, people that don't want to get your contact high from your weed smoke. Okay, it's not even about racism either, because when I'm on the road driving and I smell weed, I don't know who the person is that smells like weed. I don't know what's going on. Okay. And when it comes to Meek Mill specifically and his friends being asked about the weed, who's smoking, they probably got on a plane and then the breeze, the air that followed them smelled just like, about 15 pounds of weed. That's probably what happened. No, it's not racist. Why is it racist to ask someone who smells like weed if they're smoking? Understand this. A lot of these rappers, they will bring drugs and stuff on these private planes because you don't go through TSA. You can go straight to the plane from a vehicle. So you're not necessarily getting checked for a lot of this stuff. And these pilots can get in trouble. Okay, these guys are just trying to do their job. They're not trying to have you on a plane with lean and pills and weed and all types of stuff. They don't want to have that. And there's been rappers that have done that. They have done that. And I wouldn't be surprised if these guys try to spark up weed on the airplane, because it's just a lack of respect for your surroundings and respect for people's jobs. You got a job to fly the plane. Maybe I can be responsible and not come on this plane with drugs, with all types of pills and smelling like weed. And I most certainly shouldn't be smoking these drugs on the airplane. But some people don't understand that, and I think that Meek Mill might be one of those guys. So no, this is not an episode of racism, sir. Not at all. I know you want to be a Colin Kaepernick copycat, and that's fine. But don't just point out racism in a place where it doesn't exist, where it's not even a thing. I want to add one last thing before we wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. Racism is not even really a problem in Black lives in America, or in anybody's life really in America. It's not an issue. I'm not saying that there's no racism in America. Surely there's racism here, but how much though? How much does racism impact your daily life? I would say that it does not impact your daily life. Maybe if you're sensitive and you soft like Meek Mill is, then maybe it affects you. Maybe you'll find racism where it doesn't exist. And when it actually does hit you, you want to follow apart, and you're not going to be able to leave your house, and you're not going to be able to eat or sleep. You be into a deep depression over somebody calling you a name or something like that. It's so dumb. Racism is so far down on the list of problems that a Black person would face. It's not even worth mentioning, but it's the problem that gets you the most attention, get you the most money and get you the most notoriety on a lot of these social justice activist platforms. You're able to make money off of that. You're able to grift off of that. Along with the rap music and whatnot, you're able to make money off of this activist stuff. That's what's going on. It's not a real problem. So, Meek Mill, if you don't want to be asked about being on an airplane smoking weed, how about don't smell like a whole 18-pound shipment of burnt up weed when you get on the airplane? Is that too much to ask? I don't think so, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Meek Mill talking about racism when it comes to the attendant or pilot or whatever, asking about the weed smoke? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm sick of people coming to public places smelling like weed and acting like ain't nothing going on. All right? If you don't want to get questioned, if you don't want to get looked at funny, how about some basic hygiene? For me, that's basic hygiene, honestly. Okay? If you're playing basketball, outdoor, full court, 100 degrees, and you get onto an airplane right after that with no shower, no nothing, you stink. Okay, have some decency for those that are around you and don't smell so offensive. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.